is the Hurdy-Burg Internet Broadcast Network. Welcome to our state-of-the-art studio right here in Round Rock, Texas. Kim's laughing because it's really state-of-the-art, right?
It is.
It's huge.
I'm totally overwhelmed.
I know. Well, Kim Stanley's here from Downsize Your Home tonight. We're going to be asking quite a few questions and talking to her about how you downsize your life, your home, whatever. So you're going to fill in all those gaps tonight. But before we start, Kim, I have to go clean the decks a little bit. And that is this. If you're happening to be listening for the first time on YouTube, that's awesome. We love to have listeners. Doesn't matter where you're at, Austin, around the country, but we do cover local Austin business. And the reason I do this is I always thought there was a need to give a small business, Kim, a voice, in their market because they get ignored so much, right? Or there's not a whole lot of services out there that can provide them. Well, there is more today, but give them an automatic direct voice and their own kind of infomercial that they can put on their website, right? So, guys listening in, if you're Austin, love to have you. If you're listening from other parts of the country, and for that matter, the world, that's happened quite a bit. And we have some followers. We thank you. We have 8 sponsors. Those 8 sponsors provide the back-end money for the show that allows me to spend that extra hour and a half after the show, Kim, building you. And I'll go to your website. I know the colors, right? I'm going to build you a custom player of this show where you're just going to have links to your website, have your great MO picture on there. It'll have links to the sponsors. It'll have, they can share it, and you can embed it in your website. So it won't look like YouTube. It's on YouTube, but it's going to be your own custom player, okay?
Great.
So anyhow, 2 guys I want to mention right off the top. The first one is somebody you know, Danielle Smith.
Yep.
Danielle Smith
is
with the Gateway Mortgage Group here in Austin, Texas. Been a loan officer for over 29 years. Works in all types of mortgages for people like Kim that are in the Austin area working in this arena, right? But the bottom line is he also he's a coach. He's a John Maxwell certified coach. Really is what I think is his calling, quite frankly, and he knows that, and he has some mastermind groups, some guerrilla marketing leadership groups that he teaches throughout Austin to realtors, but not only that, to individuals, and he coaches individuals. So if you want to learn all about Danny, go to Danny L. Smith, DannyLSmith.com, check out his website, blog. He built this website on Blogger, and it's got all this information we just talked about. My other sponsor I want to talk about is AMS Garage Doors. You ever had a garage door problem?
I have. It's not fun.
Get stuck or it doesn't go up. Well, AMS Garage Doors is located here in Round Rock. They service all of Austin. And here's the cool thing. They put their prices on their webpage, so you know exactly what you're going to pay before they even come out.
That's great.
And let's say you pulled into your garage tonight. Your garage door gets halfway down, gets stuck. They'll come out. They don't charge any money. They come out, get the garage door up, get the car out so you can go to work the next day. No day off, Kim. Okay, sorry, can't use that one.
Yeah.
And then they come back and take care of it the next day. So go check out amsgaragedoors.com. They're also one of the sponsors, and I want to thank them. So, Kim, welcome.
Thank you, Ernie. I'm glad to be here.
Pretty cool?
Yeah.
It's kind of like kitchen table talk. You know
is.
that, right?
It
We're not trying to emulate it, but here's what I also want to do. I want to thank some people. I want to thank our sponsors. It's always cool to have cool sound effects, right?
That is.
And we want to welcome you. So this is Kim Stanley. Kim Stanley, it was Downsize My Home. And Kim, I always like you to repeat this. So give us a website right at the top of the show.
Well, of course, www.
Yeah, you can say that if you want.
It's downsizemyhome.biz, B-I-Z.
Do you have to think about that instead of .com, .net?
Not anymore.
It's .biz, right?
Not
At first
anymore.
it's kind of .biz.
.com will get you nowhere, but .biz will get you right to my website. They'll give you lots of information.
Yeah, so downsizemyhome.biz, good stuff, great place to go. She has good information on there, but we're going to actually be talking about a kit she has further deeper into the show tonight. But I always like to get our listeners on both the live and the archive that you'll get. A little bit of background, right? Who is Kim? Where is Kim from? How did Kim get to Austin?
Well,
and you go back as far as you want, right?
I'm not sure, yeah.
I know you're a Missouri fan.
I am a Tiger fan.
Okay, there you go.
You know, I moved here years ago from Missouri, and so I still have friends and loyalties there. But moved here for opportunity and for family, like a lot of people I've met. And I love the Austin area.
Too cool, right?
Yeah, it's awesome, Austin.
Although Columbia is really pretty.
Columbia
That's a
is
really cool little hip little college university.
Columbia. I was
I
told,
like it.
yeah, I was told was like Austin was about 30, 35
Yep,
years ago.
I'd compare it to.
About 120,000 people.
Great Lakes outside,
Just
great
about an hour
trees.
south, and beautiful area, gateway to the Ozarks.
Yep, it's cool. And that used to be my stomping ground for a little while too, back when I went to college. And we used to go down to Silver Dollar City
Yeah.
and down to
Lots
Hot
of fun. Yep.
Springs, and we'd hang out in Springfield some. We'd go up to Kansas City. We'd go to St. Louis. We'd go to Columbia, and raid that little dormitory over there.
Yeah, the Stevens College.
Yeah, thank you. See,
Infamous Stevens College.
You already knew that. So, all right. So you come to Austin. Are you originally from Missouri? Is that your stomping ground?
Oh, originally from Iowa.
Iowa.
I'm an Iowegian, so.
What part? Do you mind? What part of Iowa? Des Moines?
Where the University of Northern Iowa is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like cold part of Iowa.
Well, all of Iowa's cold.
I know. Gosh, Lee. But that's a couple states dropped down into Missouri, right?
One state.
Yeah, you just drop down 35.
Yeah,
Interstate
go down
35,
and then just keep on going south.
or going
to
north
Austin.
to Minneapolis. And just,
Or San
and stay on the
Antonio.
south. That's so cool. All right, so I'm curious, and I know I always have to ask fun questions, right? And it's not on your question list. Our crack producers came up with some questions, and she's sitting right next to me. And that is, okay, so you were laughing before the show. So favorite color?
Teal.
Teal. Ooh, that
You
in
know,
between that blue,
that's a girly color.
that ocean color,
Yes.
that Caribbean color, right?
Yep.
That is a good color. Nobody's ever said that on the show. They
Love
say
it.
blue, red, white.
Oh,
or
no.
red. All right, so favorite genre of music, or a couple?
I'd say rhythm and blues.
No classic rock and roll. Or
I
is
love
that,
classic.
But
right
but you
there.
like the rhythm and blues as
Love
far as the
it,
choice.
though, yeah.
Okay. You remember the last band you saw in concert? And was it high school?
No. Oh God, no.
Have
No.
you been to one in Austin? Did you go to ACL any? Have you ever been to ACL?
No, I had a last minute opportunity to be in the mosh pit at the Neil Young concert, but
Ooh,
I could last year. But
man.
Jack couldn't go. My husband couldn't go.
So
and
that's
I'm like,
no fun.
no,
Yeah, no fun.
Not
Can't
going
go with your
without
better
him.
half, right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. So we'll get out of all that fun stuff, right? All right. So you've got a bunch of questions for me.
Yes.
Right here,
Would you like
crack staff, right?
I'll ask you. The term downsizing has become a buzzword in the last few years. Describe what it means to downsize your home.
Yeah,
Please, big Hurdy.
so I would imagine that, Kim, that would have something to do with somebody's lived in their house, let's say 10, 15 years. We're in a market right now where some people are really considering selling, right? Because it's a good time to sell because values of houses have gone up. But it's also a good time for them. The kids have moved out. Right, they've got still their stuff,
right,
and the kids don't want it, and they don't want it, right, and they've got garage full of stuff, boxes they don't have any clue that stuff's in.
Yes.
They have an attic that has more plywood added than the floor in the house, and there's stuff stacked to the ceiling, right?
I think you got a good picture.
Okay,
of it,
so
yeah.
all right, so I'm gonna let you take it from there. So what do we mean when we talk about downsizing? I'm sure it has a lot of definitions,
it's
right?
really evaluating your life situation and making sure that your belongings and your living environment really fit your current needs and lifestyle. You know, we change, but a lot of times where we live and how we live doesn't change along with us. And then we wake up one day and we want to pull our hair out and go, this isn't working for me anymore, but I don't know where to begin.
And you know what? I bet that's the number one thing that stops people from downsizing, is they get overwhelmed and then they go, you know what? I don't know where to start. So they don't do anything.
They don't do anything.
It's called procrastination, and I'm stuck.
And you think that it's not going to have an effect, but it has a huge effect.
And I'm not giving away that Elvis thing that's hanging over my couch. I'm just not. I love that thing. No,
we'll talk later about that.
No, there's not one here. I'm just saying, I'm not getting rid of that. I can see people having their battles about, what kind of stuff they want to keep and not keep, right?
Well,
some of that's where they get stuck. I'm pretty darn sure.
Yes, you get stuck with your stuff. And that your stuff starts to own you instead of you owning it.
Ooh.
So how do you do that? You know, and so you can, there's books out there. I have an ebook that you can go to and get advice about where to begin. Sometimes though you can't do it on your own, whether it's because it's too hard for you to make those decisions on your own. You need a sounding board, or maybe physically you can't do it if you're an older person and you need help. And that's where Downsize My Home comes in.
And that's where that's the role you come in and help with. I'm going to get you from that beginning point.
Yes, I come in as a consultant, and I have a whole step-by-step system that helps empower people to be able to make those decisions about what to keep, what to gift, what to sell, what to donate, and how to transition the whole thing. Even sometimes how to pick out where's the right next place for me to call home.
Yeah, because I was going to say you have some input into that also. So
I am a realtor by profession.
Mm-hmm.
But this business is an ancillary business from the real estate business, and it's in response to
question number 3.
A need.
It's question 3.
Okay,
that's fine. So the beauty of what you do is you get a lot of opportunity. You saw a real huge need being in the realty business, right? You seeing people being stuck with stuff, not knowing what to do, and it just was a natural thing. And then you came up with this great idea, which we're going to talk about a little further in the show, because I know you have some stories that you want to tell along with that. And I could even tell one from the time we shot the video and you took me through the program. So I have some input on this also. I know what you're doing. And so not knowing where to begin sounds like one reason. You know, is there other things that keep people from not downsizing?
There are a lot of things, a lot of fears that keep people, and I think I have one blog about that on my website, the 9 reasons why people don't. They think, well, I might use it someday. You know, I think maybe one of my family members wants it, so I don't want to get rid of it.
It might be worth thousands of dollars.
It might be worth something today or someday.
I'm going to hold on to that.
Yeah, it might be worth something someday. You know, I might be able to use this someday. And guys, you know, no offense, guys often do this, and so they'll stick it out in the garage.
I love this jersey.
Yeah, well, not that. Yeah,
I love this football helmet.
But like this piece of metal might fit into something
someday. Yeah,
someday.
parts and pieces and stuff, because I might be able to build something from this later.
Exactly.
We are going to put that old car engine out in the backyard and put a cover over it, because I might use that in my next car.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So fear, not knowing where to begin, and I would imagine if they've been in a place a long time, they know they have to move, so there's that procrastination about even thinking about moving, right? Because they know it's an overwhelming thing.
Well, you walk into whatever that room or rooms are that have become supremely cluttered, and you look at it, and most of us just sigh and close the door because
that's a good idea.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
Right.
Who wants to deal with overwhelm?
Too much. All right. So you addressed the first one. So it seems that the interest in downsizing is kind of increased, and I don't know what you mean by that. I hope you explain. Oh, I want to go back to something you said earlier before I asked this question. You said something, you have an ebook now. Can they download it? How do they get it?
They will be able to download it.
So you're working on it and getting it where they'll be able to download it from the website? That's awesome.
It's written and it'll be available shortly.
Woo-hoo. So if stay tuned. So Kim's website's downsizemyhome.biz, and what you need to do is go on there, and I think you have a script for Contact Me, right? Go ahead and do that. Don't leave our show. Open up another browser and go check her out, right? And go on there and register. You're listening to us on the show, and the archive show will be out. They can do that too. And be looking for that ebook to come out, and I'm sure you'll announce that again. We'll make sure we put that up and post it. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Is that going to be? I don't want to give away secrets, but is it going to be directed toward the organizational kit and
it will
and
be
have
an
some
actual
information?
guide and workbook that will take you step by step through the process that you can use to do this downsize process on your own if you want to stop procrastinating and dig in.
Wow, how cool is that? Okay, so you get to take a breath. You're not going to believe this. It's already 7:18.
Wow.
I told you it goes fast.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to cover, and we will. But I want to mention 2 more people real quick. So take a big breath. Okay. We're taking a break here. These are our sponsors, of course. And you can go get your water if you want. Mike O'Neill, mkoneal.com. Mike O'Neill is a money coach, and he's a money coach, and he helps people get established and understand how money works in their favor starting at a young age. But the other thing that Mike does is he works with what he calls solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and his big main topic is your business a hobby or is it a business? And that's hard because a lot of startups are kind of somewhere between that hobby and making money at it, right? So he shows or helps businesses understand what it takes to get out of the hobby range into the business range and what steps need to be taken and how to kind of work through the money issues. And he does a lot of webinars, speaking webinars. So go check out mkoneal.com. That's Mike O'Neill's money coach. He's a sponsor, so after the show that will be linked on the custom player that we give to Kim. And I also want to thank Jeff. Who's Jeff? Do we know Jeff? Jeff Steck.
Yes, absolutely.
He's put his son's name, Tyler and Erica, together for Tyler Erica Systems.com, and you spell it Tylerica, and it's systems.com. And Jeff is awesome. Jeff is what I would consider, first of all, he's an authorized duct tape consultant, so he's been through that class, but he is like I would consider the big umbrella marketing type of person that can look at a business, put the steps together on how to use all the tactics and the social media and all the other stuff. Plus, he does some training for Constant Contact through Microsoft. He understands that end of the business really well. And so if you're a business, and I think his size is somewhere that's past the startup mode, that's more established, has employees, and they're doing the same thing you're doing on Downsize. They're stuck.
Yeah.
They don't know where to go from there. So he helps with that. So go check out Tyler Erica. I say it wrong all the time. Tylerica systems.com. Jeff Steck. He's also a sponsor. He'll be linked on the website. And we want to thank you guys. Oh, speaking of houses, right? I'm going to try to. There we are. See, we're talking about that tonight. I know, and it's stupid. It's almost so silly that it's fun.
It is fun.
You know, it just adds something to it. All right. So my question to you was, why has downsizing increased over the years, and what's kind of caused this to happen?
Okay. Well, this is just a few stats that I call staggering stats.
You have stories too.
I have stories, I'll tell you, but yeah, I just think we all know that the baby boomers are growing older. We're reaching they, of course, are reaching retirement age.
I know that feeling.
But if you're not one and you're not in contact every day, you don't realize how big this group is becoming and what a tsunami it is.
It's huge.
And so I did a little bit of research. Just wanted to share this to give people a concept. So in the United States, right now, 13% of the population is 65 and older, which is, a lot of boomers are still not even at that age, but the first ones recently just turned 65. But in the next 15 to 20 years, that's going to grow to over 20%. So literally 1 in every 5 human beings in the United States will be over the age of 65. That's huge. And most of these right now are homeowners. So they're in that situation that I've been describing, where they're in homes, often paid off homes, often homes that are filled with things, homes that may or may not be fit them. Maybe they still have to walk up steps. So this is a huge. Yeah,
it just makes total sense. It's J.W. War, J.W.
Yeah.
Said on a radio show that just staggered me. By the year 2016, 10,000 baby boomers a day will be taking their money out of their 401k.
Yeah, according to current laws will require it.
Right,
yeah.
And that is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why your job security looks real good for downsizing. Don't you think?
I think there's a huge need. I hear it every day.
What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah. Where do I begin?
Okay, so all right, so you've got, and I know we're getting ready to, you have some stories, but let's get into this downsize, because you're talking about products, right? The services or products you offer. What do you offer people? What are some of your services?
If somebody was to call me up and say, hey, I need help downsizing, how can you help me? I would say, first of all, I'm going to do a free initial consultation.
Right.
And I'm going to bring a kit. And if you choose to work with me, you're going to get this kit. And this kit is going to have everything in it that you need to start the process. And I'll be guiding you through it every step of the way. It starts out with goals, just like everything is. What are you wanting to do? What do you think you need to do? And if you aren't clear about it, we can talk about that. I have resources I can hook you up with. So whether you just want to, it's anything from decluttering and working to be able to stay where you are to going from a large home to a smaller home, or if someone's at the point, or their parents are at a point where they need a retirement center, assisted living.
Wow.
That's a big step. We can help make that so much easier, so much less stressful, and especially for people whose parents or parents whose kids live far away, they'll have somebody right here in Central Texas that can help coordinate everything that they can trust. And we have systems to keep that communication open, everything from obviously phone calls, but we post things, pictures, inventory systems so that family members know exactly everything that we're sorting through and what we're doing with it. There's no question. There's no mistrust.
It's really a cool system, and I know you have a story to tell about that. But that assessment's where it all starts, right? Somebody calls you, you've got to go sit down with them, or at least give them something to get back to you, so that you get a feel for what they're really trying to do. This isn't where you just go, yeah, we'll be right over, and we're going to start downsizing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
It's just like you've got to figure out what part of it they want to do. The part that intrigued me, you just said though, Kim, was the help with the relatives and stuff. People, a lot of that's going to be happening too, for a lot of folks, and so that seems like that's a big deal.
I can give you a story about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Illustrates.
Yeah.
Last year I helped a couple in Spicewood, Texas, downsize. They were an older couple in their 80s, and their children actually called me from San Antonio and said they've been trying to get them to downsize for 2 years.
Wow.
They really need help. I went over there and introduced them to the Downsize system, and I watched them be empowered. At first, the wife was resistant, but then she started using my sorting system, and I saw the husband, who could barely walk with his walker, just liven up and start tagging things and making decisions about his things, and it really helped them get empowered. But here's the issue. One time I went. Always. and there was this lady that I saw go along the side of the house and just walk right in the back door. And I said, well, hi, I'm Kim Stanley. How can I help you? And she said, well, I'm just here to pick up some stuff. And she said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I'm going to go and pick up this box of stuff and take it to my garage sale. And I said, well, who was that? She left. And they said, oh, a friend of ours gave us the name of this lady and her boyfriend, and we decided we just paid them $10 an hour to come in and sort through our stuff. And I looked at them and I said, did you do a background check on them? Do you know these people? No. And I said, do you know what they took from your house and what the value of it was? No.
Really?
And I said, are they bonded? Are they bonded?
Do they have liability? Do they have all that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they said no, and I said, you have put yourselves at great risk. And I said, do you have a security system? No. And they lived way out in this little cottage by the lake and not close to any kind of security or police or anything. And I said, you cannot do this because you're going to get taken advantage of. And I said, one thing about me is I am licensed, bonded, background checked, fingerprinted, and I said, you can hold me accountable, and your family can too. So that's really important.
Yeah, it is.
It's worth it.
Yeah, go use the experts in this industry, which is you, and for the free consultation, I will say you have absolutely nothing to lose.
No, there's
meeting
no
with Kim and sitting down, because she's really excellent about the helicopter view of this, and she has a great system, and we're teasing everybody, by the way. We're building up to that system, right? Okay, so what is the most likely, we kind of went through it a little bit, but what is your real typical customer like? Which one can you really, if you took 5, right, what's the top one that you really focus on?
Yeah, the people who need this the most, and these are the ones who sometimes have procrastinated, are seniors. people in their 70s and 80s who have said, you know, I can't live in this house anymore. I can't keep it up.
Yep.
I can't navigate the stairs, whatever it is. My family is really pushing me to either go live with them or go into a retirement center or assisted living. And so it becomes a need to situation. The second market that and I often deal with the children of those people. The second market that I serve are empty nesters and people who, again, have accumulated all these things, and they think in their mind, I can do this. I don't need, you know, to pay a consultant to do this.
Then they get overwhelmed.
They get overwhelmed again and stay stuck, or they end up just doing, you know, let's toss the baby out with the bathwater and
then
start
they
over
regret
again.
that because there's some regret there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's worth it to get some consultation and to get a system that you can use. I'm working with a gal now who's in that stage. They have a huge 5-bedroom home, and she was actually a beta tester for my Downsize kit. She's the one in the video.
Yep, and she's awesome, by the way. That was a good shoot.
Oh, she's very organized, which is what's funny, because she's organized, but she still procrastinated and couldn't start.
And it helped.
It helped her. So I had gotten the kit back from her.
I want the lava lamp.
And yeah, I know. And she called me yesterday. She said, I hate to bother you, but could I have that toolkit back? She goes, I really need to keep working on it. Yes.
Cool.
So she saw the value in it, and she's using it, and I'm going to get continued feedback from her on it. But so, you know, baby boomers, their parents, they're the ones that need the most help.
Right. And so, all right, so we've kind of teased them enough. We can always hit the rest of these questions, right? But I want to talk now. We've talked about this kit. Let's have some fun with that. Let's talk about this Downsize kit. Now, I'm going to lead in with a question here because it might have to do, I know it has to do with the kit, but you went through a couple things on a video shoot with me, that decision thing on, here's a cup, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and is that part of this Downsize, the questions you have to ask? Is
Absolutely.
that where you start with your Downsize kit?
Well, it starts with the goal setting process, but once you've got the goal set and some time frames established so you can move forward, then you've got a categorizing system, and it's a color coding system.
It's cool.
But with it, so you've got 4 different types of colors and categories. Do you want to keep it? Do you want to gift it to a friend or family member?
Here we go. This is what I was talking about.
Do you want to sell it, or do you want to donate it? And the 5th one that I don't really have categorized is like, do you want to trash it? You know, so you just get your trash bag up.
And I was going to say, you come in with the big garbage bags and the containers,
kit includes trash bags,
and you put it right in front of them, and you give them that choice. What are you going to do with this?
Yeah.
Right.
Now the other thing though, it's not just confronting people.
I know that, but it's soft. I don't mean it was rude or anything.
But there's a difference, because there are other people in this business that pretty much will push someone into having to make a decision. I feel my kit empowers them, and it respects the person's belongings and says, look, I know this has meaning for you. Let's establish what that meaning is. So the series of questions you're talking about help that person go through the decision-making process.
And the cool thing is that I like about it is you don't have to be there. You'll be there as a guide. I call it like over-the-shoulder guide. You know what I'm saying? You're helping them along. But if you left for that day and they had some stuff to do with it, they have the system, so they know what color goes with what they want to do with it. So all you have to do is look at it when you come back in, and they know where to put it, right? And they know what it goes for, garage sale or whatever they're going to do with it, right? It's really cool.
Yeah, and then when they get done,
an item list. That's right.
Inventory. I help them with inventory, and then if they need help in arranging for estate sales or garage sales or selling their things on Craigslist or eBay, or arranging for movers, cleaners, stagers, whatever it is.
It's a great do-it-yourself kit.
It's a do-it-yourself kit, and it's a resource guide. And I'm there to be a resource.
Right. And here's the thing: when Kim comes in with this, she not only consults with you on it, but she actually goes with you side by side with all these, getting you to understand how the kit works, right? And also helping with the tougher decisions on stuff and get some feedback, right? Because if you have 2 people talking, you can work through it.
I liken it to hiring a general contractor, because Coordinating a downsize move is a complex thing, and it requires subcontractors coming in if the person isn't able to do it themselves or doesn't want to or doesn't have time.
Right.
And it involves coordinating the step-by-step process, just like you would if you did a major remodel
Yep. Same
or
thing.
building a new home. So that's kind of where the general contractors of helping you downsize.
Now, is the the kit goes with you, right? To the people you're meeting consulting with. Is this a kit that people can purchase from you?
They can purchase it. I've packaged it so that it includes some consultation, because just
Okay.
giving somebody a kit,
Doesn't make any sense,
I
right?
liken it to a speed reading course. A lot of people, a few years back, speed reading was real popular,
Yeah.
so they would get a certain speed reading course, and they'd get all these tapes, and 9 times out of 10, it would stay in the corner or go in a closet or go in the garage sale eventually.
Or those real estate courses for zero down, right?
Yeah.
And they found
Money
out
making
wasn't that
deals.
easy, right?
Oh, I can tell you as a realtor, it's
And then
not
you
that
find
easy.
out that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So, uh, so you need that coaching along the way,
Yes.
and some help along the way, especially to get started. So I've packaged it so that it includes consultation.
That's awesome, and I think that that's the way to see it too. I kind of see it as you're, you got the coaching is such a buzzword today, right? You've got lifestyle coaches, you've got personal coaches, you've got fitness coaches, you've got health coaches,
Right.
and so you, in a sense, are putting that coaching in the downsize part of the business, where you really not only educate a person, right, but you get them involved in the interaction and the process of it. So, but you're training them how to work the system, right?
Yes.
But it takes Kim being by your side, in my opinion, to kind of do that. So that leads to this question, right? And that is so how and where? Okay, so you just came in. Never mind about my place, but you came into a house, right? And where do they start? What do they generally? Where do you try to get them to begin?
Where do you begin if you want to start downsizing? I tell people to start with the room or the area in your house that is either become the unofficial storeroom in your house,
Yep.
the place where you don't know where everything else goes.
Yep.
We'll stick it in the guest room, or we'll stick it in, our son's room because
right.
he's moved out, and it's just going to go there, or this closet that becomes, you open it up and everything
Overwhelmed. It falls on you, right?
And that's the place to start, because that's where the downsizing clutter began. The other place is an area that you walk through frequently. So that could be maybe your laundry room if it goes out to the garage, or a mud room, or your front foyer. I run into a lot of front foyers that have become just deposits of clutter and things that people don't know what to do.
Right.
And
that makes total sense.
Yeah, and the reason why you start there is because then when you pass through, you see your progress.
Yeah, I was going to say the visual progress probably is what makes a huge difference, right? When they see a room go from down to, we got this all organized, we got this stuff in this
You need to have a sound effect for downsizing.
Yeah, okay, hang on. I did. Here it is. Here it is. Well, let's see.
It's not doing anything.
Oh, man. What happened to my
Of course,
show?
when you need it.
There it is.
Or something like that.
We put a whole bunch of stuff on that one.
Woohoo, ding ding, whatever it is. Yeah.
There we go. So everything's cool. So yeah, sound effects are great. They just kind of tie in the thing. All right. So I saw you go through a room with the lady that you're talking about, right? That's helping. Was on the video with us, and I really thought it was cool that you have colors. And I know it's not going to make a lot of sense, but you had a color that after y'all decided on the lava lamp, for instance. God, I wanted that. You wanted that lava lamp. Everybody wanted that lava lamp. But there was after discussing it, a certain color sticker was put on it, and then you had containers set up that had those same colors on them, so they knew to put that color thing in this container, and that one just happened to be okay. We're gonna give this back to that child, right? Because he may or may not want it, but we're going to start there.
Right.
And so they put it in that container. So not only are you putting the color code deals on there, but then you're getting them to take action and actually physically commit, and then taking their inventory book, right? Log in the item, what color, where it goes, so they have an inventory.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm also working on creating an online inventory cloud-based system so that somebody can take a picture, my kit will include UPC codes, and they can put it up there and store it, and that way family members can go online and look and see.
Yep, and scan it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that'll make inventory even easier than just a manual system. My kit right now includes the manual system. People quite often will go, oh, I don't have to worry about that. And I will tell you from personal experience, you don't have to inventory every single thing, but things like the lava lamp, little things like that, knickknacks, you will want to write down.
Something that's been passed down from family so you don't lose track of it.
Something that you just had for a while, because you will change your mind and you may go, who did I give that to, or whatever happened with that? I remember there's one piece that I sold in a tag sale to my neighbor from my mother's estate, and I wish I had it now, but at least I know where it is.
Okay, right, all right.
So
okay.
Things like that. It sounds trivial, but it is.
So I would imagine the things that really get tough are those things that have been in the family that you no longer have use for, but you think that you're attached to them, right? And you've really got to make an emotional decision about the next step, right?
You think that you're supposed to.
And so there's
keep
probably
them?
a lot of things that you get down to brass tacks on as it gets closer to the end. Does that get complicated? And I don't mean the bad way, but I mean it probably starts off simple.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little bit more complicated. Then by the end, it's really complicated. Right?
I have white stickers that give you a pass.
Get
out of jail
the whole
free
house.
card.
White.
No, get out of jail free card. But this is where the coaching comes in, because a coach will hold you accountable for making those decisions, for moving forward. It's about moving forward with your life.
Right.
So eventually you have to go back to that item and make a decision. And the questions that you go back and ask yourself, they're both logical and emotional questions.
Right.
Well, it should help you move forward, and in the end, you want to let go of any guilt or have to. It has to be about your life.
And so it's what appears to be so easy and appears to have so much common sense wrapped around it ends up being what I'm considering to be somewhat difficult. And that's how I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like on the outset, well, we just move, we'll just throw this away, we'll give this away, we'll and then you start getting down to it. Right?
Can I tell you another story?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay. So I was helping this gal in Austin a few years ago downsize, and she had a floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall shelf that was stuffed with things, and all kinds of things. And one of them was a 3-inch length of rope that was disintegrating.
Oh, it was so rotten it was falling apart?
Yes, and I picked it up and
That's
I
awesome.
said, okay, tell me the story behind this.
Because it's important.
And she said that it was a piece of rope from a swing set from her great-grandmother. It was like over 100 years old, and she thought her grandsons might like it. And I said, your grandsons are how old? 8. I said, do you really think they're going to want this piece of rope? No. I said, can we take a picture of it? Yeah. We took a picture of it, inventoried it, and threw it away.
Okay, and so that's something we talked about briefly, but that's really cool from the story is you can take pictures of the stuff that's going away, right,
Mm-hmm.
to have the memory.
I encourage
because it's
that.
probably something that you never touch anyhow, but now you've got the memory.
Right.
And you can put notes on it and put it somewhere, right, whether it's cloud-based and put it up on your computer or take a physical picture, go get it printed, and put it in an album or something, correct? That's cool. See, a lot of people wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah. Also, if you have stories, I'm starting to videotape my clients telling the stories of their stuff.
That's even better.
That's one thing I'm going to be offering some seminars on and lunch and learn sessions to senior groups is how to tell the stories of your stuff.
I really do think that the idea of getting people into workshop groups like that on a product that's this cool is a great idea. I also think, obviously, that standing a camera up and recording that, divided up in parts, putting it up for education is really cool. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that is good for me because now you're getting your physical self out there and you got your virtual self, right? That's online while you're sleeping. People can be watching your stuff. That's pretty
Only
cool.
the people you want to.
Well, I understand, but you know, I mean, okay. So now the one of the questions that I really want to ask is, obviously we've talked about this, but what we haven't nailed down for you yet is geographical area. because obviously there's people in California, there's people in Minnesota, there's people in Missouri that are they're going to end up listening to this at some point, right?
Yeah.
And so what geographical area do you support?
Well, I am in Austin, and so I support the
There you
Central
go.
Texas,
Okay,
Austin area
I love
right
it.
now.
That. Okay, so if you're in Austin, you can tap into Kim's expertise on the coaching side of this and getting this downsize kit. If you're out in California, is that going to be a part eventually of the online thing where they can tap into your ebooks and to your kits and all that
Absolutely,
stuff?
and I can mail them a kit.
There you go. Okay.
I'm happy to do that, sell them and mail them a kit and do some online coaching with them. I actually have had inquiries in the LA area about being a downsize consultant. So eventually
Really?
I plan on expanding this throughout Texas and throughout the
Cool.
United States.
That's awesome. Okay, so your website again?
Is downsizemyhome.biz. B-I-Z.
Okay, got it. And
what?
where's my clap? There we go.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'm going to let you take a little breath, okay? I want to thank a couple more sponsors real quick because we're getting into the last 15 minutes of the show. And I want to thank Todd Frank at Jerry's Garage. They've been in business in Round Rock since 1967. They're both import and domestic, and they also are a full-fledged transmission shop. I can tell you he's a great guy. His YouTube channel with me has over 35 videos. He has a female auto specialist that does a video series called Bumper to Bumper with Shay. She takes females from the front of the car to the end, goes through different things, explains it, which is really kind of cool, right? But family owned, that tells you something right away. I love those family-owned businesses. They care about their business. And again, when you've been in business since 1967 and you've got a good reputation, that generally is a big deal. So if you want to come to Round Rock, if you live in the Austin area, or if you live in the Round Rock area and you want to stop by and have coffee with these guys, or if you need something as simple as an oil change, they do that. But they also will look at, and the cool thing they really do is if you're thinking about buying a used car and you want to make sure that there's nothing major going to happen or there's not some things wrong with it, that when you take it on a test drive or get permission from whoever you're buying it from, you take it to those guys. They charge a very small fee for going through it, and I mean they go through it, and they tell you yay or nay, and here's why you shouldn't, or here's why you should. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so go back and check out Jerry's Garage, located at jerry's-garage.com, Round Rock, Texas. Todd Frank's the owner. Go over and say hi to him. He's out mudding this week in his four-wheel Jeep, so you won't find him this week, but they still have their full staff there, so if you have a car problem, or something's got check engine lights on, you're not sure what's going on, go see those guys. All right, Kim, we're back. Let me thank these guys one more time. Doubling up. Ring the doorbell, have fun. All right, so I hope you're having fun.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool, isn't it?
It's
kind of kitchen table talk. Okay, so Kim, we've got like about 15 minutes left, and we've got some more questions. What do you want to touch on? Any cool stories? Anything you want to fly through?
Well, I want to let people know my background and why I got involved in this.
I really want them to know that too.
Important. In 2007, I had just started in the real estate business in Missouri, and I was representing an upscale condo development neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah, and I would sit there on the weekends in the model home and meet a lot of great folks. A lot of them were empty nesters or retirees, or they were going to be retirees.
And they were looking at downsizing.
They were looking at downsizing.
There you go.
It was before that term was as popular or known, and they would come and they just fell in love with these beautiful condos. And then I got to talk with them, and they say, yeah, but we've got this huge, two-story house, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms. It's full of our kids' stuff. They've gone away. We don't know what to do with our stuff, and how would we make it all fit in there? And I saw person after person, couple after couple, just walk away, kind of their faces would drop, they'd shake their heads, they'd go away. And when I followed up with them, they would just say, no, we're just going to wait. And it was a thing you talked about doing nothing and procrastinating. Yeah. And I kept thinking, well, there's got to be something out there that can help people with this. And so I started researching, and at the time there was nothing out there to help anybody. I looked for, downsizing services, kits,
even in the home moving business, you would think there would have been some sort of downsize kit, but
Yeah,
there was none,
there
right?
was nothing. There's moving kits, but
Because
nothing that helped people make the
right,
decisions about what to keep and get to, and all the resources needed to make all that stuff go away and to make that transition happen. It's a lot of work, and you have to have a plan. So I said, okay, I can figure this out. I did some more research. I pulled things together. I have not, invented all of these things that are in here. These are all things that people could pull together themselves, but I put it all together, packaged it into
made it easy
a
for them.
great
Hmm.
system that they can use. And that was the impetus. I started working with an elderly couple that couldn't get up the steps very well anymore. They needed to move. They were a godsend. I helped them. I did actually then also sell their home for them and help them transition with their
Yeah,
daughter.
that's the beauty of what you do, you
It's a
know.
one-stop shop. It
I mean,
truly
it
is.
really is. You can take them through the buying or selling process, and also go through them with this. And I really do think that's a perfect example of what we call thinking through the results, right? And that is that when you saw the need and you go, wow, these people all wanted to downsize, and you notice that they didn't call back or move in or follow up, and then you found out why. So you're thinking about it, and the result and the activity was, you know what, I'm going to research this, investigate it, and came up with the kit idea. And how cool is it that now these folks do not have to go out and reinvent the wheel? I always tell people keep it KISS, and I know what it really stands for, but I'm going to call it keep it simple, simple,
Well,
because really keep it simple, simple is really the key, right?
that's actually the initials to my name.
But right,
Kimberly Sue
right,
Stanley.
but I wouldn't say keep it simple,
Yes, I
keep it
know.
simple, simple, right? But that's good. So you tie that in with that. Uh, but gosh, I mean, for you to already have the system set up, all they do is call, sit down with you, and begin the process. And like you said, I'm intrigued by the empowering part. How do people feel when they see this all done? Give me a story of they're done and it worked, right?
Well,
And you've gotten them through it, and they just go, wow.
yeah, there's a couple of stories, but and a couple of them are the people that I've talked about. That the lady in uh, Austin, she was so thrilled, and I was able to transition that, help her sell her home, but also help her to get established in a new home. And I still visit with her.
Yep.
She's just a wonderful lady. She's like my second mom. The folks in Spicewood, that their story did not have as happy of an ending because the gal did pass away before
Yeah,
she moved,
sorry.
but she had finished her downsizing process and made all her decisions, and I think she had made peace with all that. But we did help her husband move.
That's
There's just
cool.
been lots of people I've had an opportunity to help, and I also have a passion for helping seniors.
And I was going to
Uh,
say I hear this tone of not only just the business side, but I hear the know, like, trust, the building of the relationship part of the people that you meet, because you're so tied to them, right? You get to know them, they get to know you, you
Absolutely.
get to work with them on the house. So there's a real benefit to the friendship side, the relationship side that goes along with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. Yay. So, and that worked out, and they were ecstatic, and like, see, I would think when people finish, they go, "Whew, that was cool."
Yeah, and they are grateful that they had somebody to help them through the process. I've got some testimonies, and I have references that I can
Now, I don't
certainly give
want to put you
people.
on the spot, but anything funny ever happen? Where you had somebody couldn't make up their mind about a thing, they put this sticker on, then they put this sticker on, then you battled over something that took weeks, or is it just
I've had husbands and wives.
I was going to say, did you cause any divorces? Have you caused
No,
any major battles? No, I'm kidding.
I've actually done the opposite. I have helped mediate a lot of family
That they
situations.
could never come to a conclusion on because of their attachment to it.
I've heard
That's good.
sad stories about family members that have gotten into great conflict because the kids come in and they have different opinions about
Yeah,
what mom
that
or
makes
dad should
total
do
sense.
and the things, and they each want the things, and having a mediator in the middle is priceless. I cannot tell you.
So another
Uh,
reason to bring in you.
I think so. It's been my
Yeah, I
experience.
mean, and because you're out in the trenches with this product, what they go through, you could almost look at some place and look at the problems that the issues they're going to go through because you've been through the enough of it, right?
Yes,
Repetition learning is a wonderful thing.
that's right.
I can tell you from experience, this is going to happen. All right, so we've got to wind down. So let's repeat your website.
Okay, it's downsizemyhome.biz.
And eventually, not today, but she's providing an ebook that's coming down the road. So my thing is, you should go ahead and bookmark downsize my home. I mean, downsize my home. Yeah.
If you go on my website,
.biz and go on it, and you can click and register right now.
yes,
right?
absolutely.
So go to her contact page, register, get signed up, get on her newsletter so she can stay in touch and let you know when that comes. She's got some. She can also, I think that if you're in the Austin area, call her up for a consulting gig. Go to her website, contact her. That's the best way to get a hold of Kim, I promise you, right?
Yeah.
Leave the contact information. She'll call you back. Sit down with her and figure this out. Some of you that are going to be listening to this, not tonight live, but are going to listen to this on demand or wherever she puts it on the website, or just send you to a link. Either way, some of you are going to go, yep, I need to do that. So hopefully, Kim, we'll catch a few people on this down the road as you put it up. So any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave with us? Any tip?
I want to encourage people not to stay overwhelmed.
Okay.
To whatever they need to do to move forward. Don't move forward too quickly. And if you're dealing with elderly family members, honor the process. Quite often, it's very stressful being the sandwich generation, but honor the process with your parents. Let them pace themselves as much as possible, and honor their memories.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I was intrigued by the image side of it, of taking pictures of stuff you're no longer going to keep. I thought that was really cool idea as part of it, and the inventory system and all that goes with it. Well, I will tell you personally, Kim is a wonderful, fun person to be around. She has a great personality. She's genuine. She really does care about people. I've seen it in not only this business, I've seen it in her realtor business, and she's business too, meaning that you think a lot, and you always are out there helping people along, and you're really concerned about the citizens. That's always the senior citizens, which was one of your things you told me that when we first met.
Yeah.
So that's one of your passions. So she loves to work in that area. So that's super. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's really
Isn't it
been fun. Yeah.
It goes quick though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, I want to thank all my sponsors again tonight. Those of you who didn't get to, you know that you're linked on the custom player. You've been now almost up to 18 shows. I've got 2 more to go before this show segment's up, and we start another 20 in June. So we got a couple more in May. I have 2 weeks off before the start of June, but we are here every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 Central Time on my YouTube channel. We do keep it in audio format like radio because I don't like the way I look on camera, so I just put it on. No, I'm kidding. Kim's shaking her head because I tell that to all my clients, right? Don't worry about how you look on camera. But no, we keep it radio format because it's just I'm not sitting in the studio, and I want to make sure that we make it like radio. But you guys check us out. Send this out to your friends. And Kim, again, thank you. Her website is downsizemyhome.biz. Go check it out. And Kim, thank you very much. Say good night. Say goodbye. Say good night.
Goodbye, and hopefully say hello in the near future.
All right. Good night, everybody.